These letters came out really good. I'm really impressed. Well, hello, my beautiful and amazing crafters. Welcome to another video of Crafting with Shaneda. In tonight's edition, I'm going to show you how to make these extra large DIY letter signs, great for a birthday party or an event. For this project, you're going to need your cutting machine. Tonight, I'll be using my Cricut Explorer, but you can use your Cricut Maker as well. You'll need a 12 by 24 inch mat. This cutting mat has been in a few of my videos. I'll have them posted here so you can check those out as well. So it's on its last leg. It has a little bit of a stick, but we're going to use it again tonight. You'll need some tape, some masking tape, and clear regular tape. You'll also need some poster stakes, or you can even use some wood screws as well. The size of your stake will just depend on what size lettering you want to choose. I purchased this online prior to actually creating my design, but these worked out very well. For today's project, I'm going to be using these colorful poster boards. I picked up a few different colors because I wanted to have a colorful banner sign. I will have everything listed in the description box below and also on my Amazon storefront. So let's get started. So these poster boards are 22 by 28 inches. So I wanted to tell you a really quick disclaimer before we get started with tonight's project. Because these poster boards are very light, I would only recommend this for a one-time use, personal use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out my letter with the poster board. So one poster board will be equivalent to one letter. So to make this a budget-friendly project, I'm just going to use the poster board to cut out the letters. I'll use this to adhere my letter. I'm planning to use this outside for one-time use. I don't know what the weather is going to be like, but I'm just going to project that it's going to be a little windy. So with this project, because it's just a poster board alone and just using the stand as support, I know it's not going to last the test of time. If you wanted something a little bit more sturdy or weatherproof, I would recommend using a vinyl, cutting out your letters with vinyl and then adhering it to a foam board that's nice and thick and sturdy. But for today's project, to make it a budget-friendly project, we're only going to be using the poster board. So let me show you how I cut these letters using the one poster board. So I went into Cricut Design Space and started a new design. And I'm going to show you how I cut out these letters for the word birthday. So I know my cutting mat that I'm going to use is 12 by 24 inches. So I brought in a shape, I brought in a rectangle, and I just sized it at 11 by 23 inches, just so I could have some wiggle room. I went ahead and duplicated that size element and really got it nice and clear, close to each other, bumped it up and aligned it to the bottom. That way I can use one poster board and be able to get the largest design of it possible. Because if I just cut it with one poster board, as you can see, the size of my letter is going to be about 10 by 10. And I could cut this out on a regular 12 by 12 cutting mat. But I want it to be as large as possible, and I was able to get my letter to be about 18 inches. And that's why I duplicated my mat, so that way I can utilize as much space as possible. So I chose a letter that was really bold and was easy to cut, that didn't have a script font. And this font is Picky Retro. If I can find the actual font, which I believe I got from Creative Fabrica, I will list this font in the description box below. Now that I like the letter sizing, it's time for me to cut this so that way I'll be able to fit this on two separate mats, but I'll have this large letter. So to do that, I went ahead and just duplicated my letter because I want to keep that all the letter sizing to be the same. I know it's going to fit nice between those two 12 by 24 cutting mats. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm just going to duplicate this one 11 by 23 inch template because I'll use that again for my next letter. And all I'm going to do is just size my letter so it kind of fits right in the middle. So I'm kind of putting it right in the middle so that way I know this one mat is going to cut this portion and then the second mat will cut this portion. So I'm going to select the letter and the basic rectangle, and I'm going to go down to my slice tool and hit slice. Give Cricut a minute to slice that out, and I'm going to remove the pieces that I don't need, and I'm going to leave the two halves of the letter H. I'm going to go ahead and just group it for now so nothing moves around, and I'll go on to my next letter. That's why I duplicated this so that way I don't have to go back and make another shape. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for the next letter and continue typing out the word. So I continue that process throughout the letters in the word birthday. Now we're left with the letter Y, and let me show you one more time. So I'm going to select my H, and again, I just left this as the main letter, so all the sizing would be equivalent. I went ahead and just duplicated that letter H. I'm going to double click so it's highlighted, and I'm going to type a capital Y. I know it'll fit nicely on those two cutting mats when I send this to cut. And I want to slice it where I want to find the best area to slice this letter in half. If you end up moving the piece, it's okay. Just try to get it as close as possible. It's going to go to your cutting mat. It's going to go to your cutting mat anyways. Now I'm going to go back and choose the color I want to cut with the poster board. Now I'm going to go back and choose the color poster board I want to cut my letter Y. I'm going to make sure I save my project, and then I'm going to go ahead and send this to the mat. It did take me 2 days to cut out this project because I did a little bit out of time. So now let me show you how to prepare it on the mat and assemble the letter. All right, so now that I sent it to Cricut Design Space, it's going to tell me that a large mat is going to be needed for this project, which we know. So I'm going to hit on OK, and now it's time to cut it out. Now it's time to cut out my design. So the easiest way that I found to cut this out is I looked at the letter and I'm noticing that it's right at the 7. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. The best cut for this poster board that worked for me was the heavy cardboard using my fine blade. And what I did is I just went to the number 7 on my cutting mat and just placed my poster board right on the number 7, just a little hair off over the number 7. And then I flipped my mat over, and using a pair of scissors, I just cut out the poster board. You can use an X-Acto knife, but I'm fine just using a pair of scissors. So after cutting out the letters and taping it together, I used some masking tape to apply the letter to the frame.